My husband started this before I even married him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gidambege started sometimes in March 2003 by my husband, Mr. David Audu.
Okay.
Yeah, and before then, I was working in a hospital in Jazz.
Okay.
It's a medical audiology. And one day came down here to visit my grandparents. On my way back to Jazz, I saw some children begging at the Benue Links Park. And stretched my hand through the window to give an assistance to two of the boys. And I discovered one was carrying a polythene bag, tied around his, leg. And I went down the vehicle and I stopped him. So he was running around the vehicle. And somehow he managed to stop. And I said, I'm not going to do any harm to you, but I want to see what is on your leg. And he showed me. And when I opened it, the cut was up to the bone level. And that was terrible. And while we were trying to come out of the park, and some motorboys came after me that I'm a kidnapper, they started beating me. You can see this cut on me. So blood was all over me. We came out, police came and rescued me, and they said, okay, what was your, intention? And I told them I just want to help out with this boy and say, yeah, but you can just come and pick a boy that you want to take him to the hospital. I said, but I don't know him. I look at him as a street kid. So they say, okay. And I told the police, I would like to know the boy's uncle. And the boy who went to a very far community, and he showed me the uncle, and I said, why do you allow this child to be on the street? And the man said, well, he's just helping. The boy lost both parents, and he's on the street. He doesn't want to go to school. And the second day, I moved back to Jos. And when I got there, my break was over, and I started work. But the desire to work in the hospital, died immediately. Each time I think about that child. Yeah, so, and somehow, I resigned. Stopped working, and then my parents, my brothers, my sister, they were all mad about me. They said, don't you think you have responsibility? You work in the hospital and now you decided to resign and you want to be a full-time volunteer in the orphanage home. Something is wrong with you. I said, nothing. They said, no. And then my immediate younger sister came and called me that she want to have a chat with me. And I said, what's it? Say, sorry, are you on drugs?
How many kids did you start with when you started this place?
Okay, in 2003, I think about 15 to 20 kids were here, right in the home, with him alone.
Wow.
He started it, and with some other children in their communities, which he didn't actually bring into the home, but was extending love, care, concern, and other materials. To date, let's say between 2003 to now, we've actually raised about 60 children.
Wow, 60 children.
Actually, here in this home, we've decided to live as a family.
Okay.
So I would say we have challenges of a normal family. Yes,
okay.
yes,
okay.
Mother, father, and children. Okay. But ours will be a bit larger and bigger than other
more
nuclear
yams
families.
For breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we have the normal challenges of getting to feed the children. Our major challenge is their education.
Yeah.
Actually, it has not been very easy. We pay stage by stage, like the issue of school fees.
Okay.
First 10 have been paid.
Yeah.
Another month, the next one, like that, until the term gets over.
Okay.
And then bringing in a new child into the home, the child already made up his life. The foundation was made
based on the experiences
he had before he came in here. And most of them are negative experiences, are not positive. A child becomes an adult at childhood age.
Yeah.
And so he knew how to cater for himself, even if it's in a negative way. If he had to steal to do that, he will do it, and other things like that. So when he or she comes in here, that thing has to be broken. That foundation has to be broken. The child needs to agree with you that he is a child now. And then there are tendencies of the child trying to behave like an adult. You, the adult on this other side, you are seeing him as a child. He is not seeing himself that way. And then when you peradventure begin to give instructions or rules that a child you think should follow, he begins to feel, why should I?
Do it, exactly. It's
Yes,
conflicting,
years back, 2 days ago, 3 days, 2 weeks back, I had decisions to myself. Why should someone begin to tell me what to do, give me instructions? So, you know, it's really, until you are called into this, I don't really think you can do it. You the caregiver or you the parent at this side can sometimes run out of patience, which is very normal.
It's normal.
Yeah, you can run out of patience, and maybe there are tendencies of you feeling, after all, this is not my child. Exactly. Why am I insisting? Why am I, you know, having the burden of trying to see that this one becomes something in the future? I was excited actually because one, these children love singing.
They love singing.
Yes,
Okay.
they love singing. So I saw it as just bringing what they love.
Sense, yeah.
Yes, it made sense, and I took a bold step. We took a bold step as the parents of the house to encourage them to go do their best and leave the rest to God.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Now, you know the grand prize is about 10 million. What would you do if you all won this large sum of money?
10 million naira. We've never had that in our whole life. And we've never dreamt of that. Yes, even as I'm sitting here talking to you, I feel it's a dream.
What will you do with that?
It will be a great thing to have 10 million. And I think the first thing that this 10 million will do is to seal and secure the education of these children.
Wow, excellent.
Like some of them that are already in, by next year, they will be in SS3 to write WAEC, so you know. They're approaching the university. Yes. So if 10 million comes in, we know that level of education is secured.
So we come into, is it real or just a dream? I don't know.
This is all real.
Because many people come here, we never see them come back.
This is real. This is real.
Wow.
Leaving no one behind.
The home itself, you would say, was registered for service in 1996, but we didn't actually start operation till 1998. Our first batch of women and children came in November of 1998. So you would say we've been in service for 13 years and probably 6, 7, 8 months. I can't say for sure specifically that this is what made me do this, but sometimes the only thing I can recall is that I was about 13 and in secondary school, and for the first time in my life I saw a mad woman with a child. This woman had a baby boy that I don't believe had ever received a bath in his life. He was so filthy, so dirty that the students, I remember, called him the little mad boy. But you know, just a part of me always felt, why didn't somebody take this baby? Why are they allowing an insane woman to raise a child? And it's almost like I never could get that picture out of my mind, you know. And of course, as I got older, 15, 16, 17, I realized it wasn't just a mad child, there were children
out there
begging on the streets with their mothers, you know. And it just a part of me just felt bad about that. I didn't think any child should go through that. Incidentally, we weren't always a children's home. I started out as, this was a home for beggar mothers with children. If you go through the streets of Port Harcourt, Aba, Owerri, you find women who sit at street corners and beg with their children. So those were my target population. I just felt, why would you beg if you can do something else? They didn't seem blind or lame or anything. I had this feeling, you can do something, you know. So I actually spent a lot of years studying street women in Nigeria. For about 2 years, my dissertation was on street women with children. Actually, the real work of caring for the children is fun. It's a lot of satisfaction and joy, really. It's the system. Generators that break down, vehicles that don't work. Sometimes people that steal from you, which is just heartbreaking. You know, just things like that. There are just so many things. You have no control over so many things. The system is so fragile. You can wake up in the morning, oh, we're going to do this, and you end up not doing anything for the day. So it's the logistics, the system, it's so, I hate to use the word unreliable, and I don't mean this in a particularly negative way, but it just, things don't work out the way you expected them from day to day. And of course, as my children get older and become teenagers, because I now have teenagers, I have like 25 children within the age of 12 and 22. Generally speaking, they're wonderful children. They're just good children, considering some of the backgrounds they've come from, considering everything. But pretty much they're still teenagers that will want to know, why do I have to do that? You know, why do I have to do this? It's not me. I didn't do it. It's she did it. He did it. You know, it's just like, sometimes I look at them like, okay, forget who did it.
Let's move on.
Let's just move on. Let's do something else, you know. But so, yeah, there are challenges, but you know, I can't complain. You heard me say I'm going to a matriculation on Friday. Actually, tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
One of my older girls. Thank you very much. She's just gotten to University of Port Harcourt, and for us, that is a land breaking. I mean, it is. We just thought, oh my goodness, we've come of age. So Faith is matriculating tomorrow at the University of Port Harcourt, and of course, I have 6 more that took JAMB this year. Location makes us not immediately obvious to people.
Yes.
Very few people know that we're here, that we exist. It's only by word of mouth, so people like him. So he's taken particular interest in our home, and he gets us invited for things. He lets us know what is going on, and so on. And so he brought the news that this was going on. And of course, my children call him uncle, and we were all excited and immediately jumped on the bandwagon. So money like that, it would give me the peace of mind that all of my children that are capable of higher education will get it. Wow. So when I heard it first, I thought, oh my goodness, is that possible? Maybe they're just kidding. Maybe they would do it. But you know, I'm thinking, boy, if we should get something like that, I tell you, that would be a miracle. That would be a gift from above. It just would be God looking out for us.
Leaving no one behind.
I started 1999.
1999.
Yes. I was called of God. I saw it in a vision. And that's what I'm following now. That is the step I'm taking. Following what I have seen. We started somewhere else in the town.
Okay.
In a very lonely place, very quiet, and in fact, the accommodation we're having then was so little. We have a little space with 15 children then.
You started with 15 children?
Yes, they were coming gradually.
Okay.
They were coming. We started with 1 child, and then on and on, people started noticing that we are doing a work, and they started bringing the children as usual. Yes, there are so many challenges. One, we hardly have people to help us, a helping hand. When we bring them, they agree to come, we pay them, they see the money is too little. Because money coming into our own hands too are too meager. You see, in our own environment here, we're so porous.
There was a time we had a theft case. Armed robbers came here, dealt with us. They said they know that the government used to give us money. At about 1 o'clock in the night, knocked at a boys' hostel, knocked at their door, and the children thought it's one of the guards. So they opened the door and they rushed in. They never knew where I was staying, so they thought that is my room. So they dealt with the children. The children ran under the bed. They still dragged them out and asked them to show them where I was. So in that process, about 3 children were wounded because they were not ready to tell them. So until later, the bigger one led them to my room. And I was made to lie down. You know, I used to sleep with these little ones. And they were on top of their voices. They were frightened. And I was dealt with. They did away with so many of our items, like the television set and the video and clothing. It was very close to Christmas period. We're having children's clothing. They went away with them. And since I don't have money, the item, phones, they took them away. So we reported to the police, reported to Ministry of Women Affairs, and Her Excellency got to hear about it. But this fence issue, perimeter fence, we've been talking about, they've been promising.
And you still don't have a fence?
I didn't have a fence. And the protective avenue is that fence. Anybody can just pump in and do it. Just about a few months ago, we had someone coming to the school area to kidnap a child. Told us he's a relation of the child. But when we got to find out by the police, he was not known in the family of the child. So, you know, it is difficult to stay in a place like this without a fence. And these are challenges. And sometimes food, the little ones, we cannot afford buy milk. You know, like this one, they dwell on milk. And milk now is 1.5. And the government is not giving us any subvention. Monthly, say, this is monthly allowance. At all. So, except periodically, they ask us to come and collect some food items. Rice, beans, maybe beverages, and that's just from time to time, not
so
monthly.
So you're basically using your own money to fund
my own money to fund this place, individual donations. That's what we are dwelling on.
And how do you get the strength to keep going on and all this, with all these children and with all these...
Well, since it's a call, there's no call that has no grace. Well, Melody Shelter was a miracle. Okay. Where I am, I wouldn't have known. Okay, yeah. There is a friend of the orphanage, Pastor Joe, head of it. He had a friend who knew about the Melody, okay, and told them that they've just gone to an orphanage in the state. He phoned me and said, "Did you hear about a thing like that?" I said, "No." It's okay, I'll forward your name. So that was how we heard and we were called upon. Okay. Oh my God. If I can have 10 million naira, my children are the priority. Yeah. As you have known, we are talking of our fence. At least we will do a bit so that people will see and also put a helping hand. And then my children's education is important. Yes. They need to have solid and qualitative education. Then we can invite workers. Yes. They will get a good salary, yeah, and will do well, yeah, academically. And even in the orphanage, there will be enough food for us, enough clothing. Yes. And then we are talking of, as you are coming, you know that here is a distance. Mm-hmm. We are talking of we don't have a vehicle on our own. We don't have anything like that. At least that one will be number 1, 2. That can move us around. Now that you are calling us to come for a program, if we have our own vehicle, we can come. When we go out, we can go places with children, and it will be educative also. And then we don't have a playground. That is an IT room where children can enjoy using television, using a computer. You know, they're supposed to be computer literate, yes, but unfortunately, we have only one. And it's not enough.
Leaving no one behind.
I established this place in 1978. It wasn't a planned orphanage really when I started. It wasn't a planned beginning. Sometimes in that 1978, they rushed a baby, a French baby here.
A French baby.
Fresh.
Fresh. Okay.
When I say fresh,
Just born.
Just born with the placenta and everything.
With the placenta.
And everything. When they brought this baby, it was a Monday on a clinic day.
Okay.
And they rushed this baby. Both parents had an accident from Lagos Road. The father died at the spot and rushed the woman down. I don't know how. She just pressed the baby out. Somebody now took the baby. When they brought the baby, I said, no, I won't accept this baby. I'm not running an orphanage. Let me do all I can to treat this baby. And you take the baby home. Not quite long, another woman drove in. She was crying. And I happened to know her. And I said, Mrs. So-and-so, what is the problem? She said, no, I directed them to bring that baby here. And the lady was my good friend. She was crying. Then in an attempt to help her, I fell into a deep cry myself. So we started crying together. I said, we should leave the baby. I will take care of the baby. After about 6 months, I sent to call this madam. And then she came. I said, hey, Joma, you will help us take care of this child. Because I run an antenatal clinic here, that's pregnant women clinic. When they are coming, they have their children. Okay. And their children would like to play, move around. When they see this little girl, they will all sit down and be playing. When they are gone, she will be crying. She won't be comfortable again. She wants somebody to play with. Fortunately, one day, they brought a child from Urban Market. And the child was abandoned in the clinic. In the market. So they brought the child here. And happened to be a girl.
So she know how they friend to play.
Yes. I think God led me to it. Okay. I started to have the feelings of being with these children. Mm-hmm. The doctor, they will bring children from the police. Other public individuals, they bring again. That's how I started. She's married with children now. Wow, wow. Married with children. We don't have help.
Don't have much help.
No, the children are in school. I struggle to pay for them.
You are paying for everything out of
your own yes. Pocket? Paying for everything. Maybe when some good spirited individual comes here, I tell them my plight. They will say, okay. Send us their school fees and the time they are going to resume.
Leaving no one behind.